All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most watched corporate documents in India, the brand new 2024-25 annual report from Reliance Industries. We're going to break down the key numbers and, more importantly, the strategy behind them to really understand the incredible transformation of this company. Seriously, it's a story about reshaping not just a business, but an entire nation. Let's get right into it. So let's just start with a number that is almost hard to wrap your head around: 10 lakh crore rupees. That's Reliance's consolidated total equity. They're the first Indian company to ever cross that massive milestone. But the real story here isn't just how big the company is, it's what they're doing with all that scale. And that really brings us to the central question we're tackling here. How on earth does a single company grow so big that it becomes a true economic engine for a country the size of India? Well, it definitely doesn't happen by accident. So over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack the deliberate, calculated strategy behind the headlines, using their own report as our guide. I mean, just look at the sheer scale of Reliance's impact. It is staggering. We're talking over 2.8 lakh crore in exports alone. They directly employ more than 400,000 people. It's really no surprise they're consistently ranked among the most powerful companies in the world. You have to remember, these aren't just corporate stats. These are numbers that actively shape the Indian economy. Okay, so to understand where Reliance is going, you first have to understand where it came from. For decades, the heart of this company was its massive oil-to-chemicals business. This was, and you could argue still is, the foundation that the entire empire was built on. Yeah, this isn't just a factory, it's a global powerhouse. For years, this incredible industrial might, turning crude oil into fuels and all the building blocks of modern life, has been the cash engine that funded everything else. It's the reliable, powerful legacy business that built the company. But, as we're about to see, even the most powerful engines can face some serious headwinds. And this table right here illustrates the challenge perfectly. Just look at these numbers. Revenue from the O2C business is actually up a healthy 11%, mostly because they sold more stuff. But now, look at the EBITDA. That's basically their profitability. It's down nearly 12%. So what does that tell us? It means they are working harder, selling more, but making significantly less profit on every single barrel. Right, so the crucial point here is that outside forces, things like weaker fuel prices and lower margins on chemicals, are squeezing the profits of their core business. This isn't just a small dip. It's a really clear signal that just relying on that legacy engine is no longer a sustainable strategy for growth. It was absolutely time for a pivot. And wow, what a pivot it has been. This brings us to the Jio and retail revolution. This is the part of the story where Reliance transformed from being a mostly industrial company into a consumer-facing giant that now touches the lives of pretty much every single Indian. This tells the entire story in just two numbers. It doesn't get much clearer than this. While that legacy O2C engine saw its profitability drop by almost 12%, the new digital services engine, yep, that's Jio, saw its earnings surge by almost 15%. This is the strategic shift happening right before our eyes. It's a clear, decisive pivot of the company's entire center of gravity. Let's just start with Jio. The scale here it's just breathtaking. 480 million subscribers. Just to put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of the United States. This isn't just another telecom company, it has literally become the digital backbone of the nation. And its dominance is everywhere you look. It has a massive lead in 5G, it operates the world's largest data network, and it is absolutely crushing the competition in home broadband, capturing something like 85% of all new subscribers. And here's the kicker. It's not just using technology, it's creating it, with thousands of patents in 5G and even looking ahead to 6G tech. Okay, so now let's switch gears to the other consumer titan, Reliance Retail. The registered customer base here has now crossed 349 million people. Again, this is a retail ecosystem on a scale we've never seen before, and it was built with unbelievable speed. Just feel the momentum here for a second. Turnover crossed the 3.3 lakh crore mark. They're at over 19,000 stores now, and get this, they opened more than 2,600 new stores in just the last year. That works out to more than 7 new stores opening their doors every single day. It's no wonder that they're the only Indian company on that global top 100 retailers list. So you conquer oil, you conquer telecom, you conquer retail. What's next? Well, the annual report makes it crystal clear. Reliance is now making a massive bet on a green future. This looks like it's going to be the company's next great transformation. The company puts it pretty bluntly in its own report. They say they are reimagining their future to become a new age deep tech enterprise. Now, that isn't just corporate speak for adding a solar panel business. This is about a fundamental rewiring of the company's DNA for the next generation of energy. And hey, this is not just a vision. The execution is already happening. They're getting massive solar and battery projects up and running. They're acquiring shipyards to build key components, securing huge tracts of land for solar generation, and even pioneering tech to turn CO2 emissions into useful products. And through their Jio BP partnership, they're also rapidly expanding EV charging networks. You can see all the pieces are being put in place. So we've looked at the legacy engine, the new consumer engines, and the future green engine. Let's pull it all together now and see what this means for the company's complete financial picture. Here are the big top-line consolidated numbers. And this is the key takeaway. Despite that 12% drop in profitability from its massive O2C business, the company as a whole still grew. Revenue, EBITDA, net profit, they're all up. This right here is the power of diversification. The new growth engines of Jio and retail are now so big that they can more than make up for the challenges in the legacy business. Now, for me, this chart is one of the most fascinating things in the whole report. It calculates the total value the company added to the economy, over 4.3 lakh crore. And just look at where the biggest slice of that value goes. Nearly half, 49%, went straight to the national exchequer through taxes and duties. It's such a powerful visual of that economic engine idea we started with, isn't it? So, when you boil it all down, the story of this annual report is crystal clear. Reliance is in the middle of successfully pulling off one of the largest corporate pivots in recent memory. It's using the massive cash flow from its legacy industrial base to build new, dominant empires in consumer tech and retail, all while laying the groundwork for its next huge act in new energy. Which, leaves us with one final massive question. Jio isn't a startup anymore. It's a profitable, dominant digital titan. The market is already buzzing about a potential IPO that could value it at over $150 billion, which would be the largest in Indian history. So is unlocking that value through a public listing the next logical chapter in this incredible story of transformation? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thanks for watching.